We are in that time of year where people get a little itchy. There's a lot of headlines out there right now about market going down. The end of August into September into October, we have a lot of history where the market goes down in the fall. So people are worried about that. So Jamie Dimon is the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. People talk to him all the time. They did an interview on CNBC, and he said in the interview, right now, when it comes to stocks, I'm not a buyer. Now, he didn't say that he was a seller. But what he said was he believes right now prices are too high. So he's basically saying there's a time to buy, there's a time to sell, and is there a time to just sit? And is this that time? Are we talking about market timing here? I guess maybe in some way of thinking, but I got to believe there is kind of a time to just kind of sit back and watch. Would you say this is one of those times?
Man, he's been saying this for the last 3 or 4 years. So he's saying he's not a buyer, he's not a seller, but what he's also saying is that if he has cash to deploy, he wouldn't do it. And if you were doing that from back in 2023, you've missed out on, I won't put a number on it, but suffice to say, a lot, right? You've missed out on a lot. And so how could you not say it's market timing? If you're saying now is not the time to do X, well, then it's timing, isn't it? I think the bigger thing that this highlights is how are you invested in the market? Are you at the right risk level that you should be taking for where you are in life? If you're 30 or 40 and you're listening to this show and you've got, 30 plus years left of work ahead of you, and you're all in and you've got 100% risk, I wouldn't try and talk you out of it. You got a while to go, man, before you're going to use this money. Now, if you're knocking on the door of retirement or you've just entered retirement and you have that sort of similar profile, well, maybe there's a time to have a discussion about that, right? Maybe you shouldn't be taking that much risk. Charlie Munger was Warren Buffett's right-hand man, and he's famously on record for saying, hey, if you cannot stomach a 50% drawdown in your portfolio a handful of times during your investing career, don't invest. That's not where your money should be, right? And I don't think that means you shouldn't have anything in the market, but if that part that you have is going to basically financially ruin you, well, then you shouldn't be in it. Right? You shouldn't have that lifeline that you need to live off in retirement for what we discuss to be in there. And probably if you're wondering, well, is that my situation? Is that not my situation? Are you looking at the markets every single day and panicking what is going to happen the next day? Because if you are, that probably means that you've got too much risk in those markets, right? We have a client that we were helping her out with some tax stuff that she needs. She came in, we did the risk assessment. We kind of talked about, hey, do you want any sort of guaranteed income? How do you want to have this set up? And she's like, yeah, like I do. I've only got me to count on. If we can set up some guaranteed income, so with my Social Security, I've got everything set. I'm happy to invest the rest, but it'd be great to check that box, right? And okay, so we've got it all set up. And so I was in her account the other day, helping her with the tax stuff. And we can see on our end, the last time someone logged on to their investment accounts, right, to check it out. She hasn't logged on since April because she's got everything else set up that she needs. So I'm sure every now and then she wants to check in like, hey, how's it doing? She has not had that concern since April. And I suspect that the last log on is in April because that's when we got the login set up for her.
But isn't that who we all want to be in retirement in some way speaking? I mean, I want you to sit down, build this for me be comfortable with it, and then me go off and retire. And I come and see you a couple of times a year. We're doing all right? We're doing all right. So when we talk about our paycheck in retirement, there's two kinds of money in retirement. There's money that you have to go out and get, and then there's money that just kind of shows up in your account every month. And this is kind of strange, but the delivery method of your money has a direct correlation on how you spend. Stay with me. So if you have guaranteed income, like Social Security, an annuity, some kind of a pension, something like that, those monies, when they hit your account, retirees spend 80 cents out of every dollar. But if you have an account like a 401k that you're just peeling money off that you just got to go get, retirees spend about 50 cents of every dollar. So when you know that the bucket's going to get filled up next month, you'll go spend it. But if it's not, you may not. So Jay, I mean, this just really shows you what people do in their spending habits in retirement and how to, basically put their money where it needs to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, it makes sense. It's a mental shift of if I know once a month, twice a month, however it is that guaranteed money coming in, whether it's a pension, whether it's whatever, yeah, of course you're going to feel empowered or confident to spend that money. And to be really clear, sometimes people hear these conversations and they say, well, I don't want to have all my money tied up in a pension. Yeah, you shouldn't. Right? It shouldn't all be there. Most of the people that we speak with, there's enough to do several things. It doesn't have all or nothing. This is why some animals, why do they go and collect food?
For later in life, for the wintertime when it's not so prevalent.
Because they know that there is a time coming up that they're not going to be able to count on that source for food, right? Humans have built infrastructure and a system so that we don't have to do that. We can go to the store. We can go and get food. And I think of it as a little bit of a similar situation to that, right? What if the winter lasts longer? Maybe we can't just divide this food out by a number of weeks and we need to be careful with it. Humans don't have to do that. You go to the supermarket, you get your food, and we've got it set up. A little bit similar to this income situation, right? If you've planned out to age 90, but you live to age 95, my pantry is not going bare. I've got that income coming in.
So I found a story because estate planning is something that we talk about occasionally on the show, but you and I have talked about this big wealth transfer, Jay, that there's trillions of dollars coming down to the next generation. That is starting to happen now.
That's right.
And some of the problems that are going along with that are happening as well. So here's a story that I found. It's a story about a daughter and a father, and the father got married late in life, probably remarried late in life. When he died, the stepmother declared to the daughter that you were simply a product of a previous marriage and you get no inheritance. It all belongs to me. That's pretty darn cold. So apparently the daughter took that all in stride because she knew better. She showed up at the attorney's office the day that they read the will. She had a listing of the assets that her father had accumulated before the marriage and after the marriage. She had a signed and notarized letter saying that his assets would be split 50-50. And she had power of attorney giving her access and power over all of his financials. Checkmate. The lawyer just looked at her and said, Mama, you out of luck. So I tell that story because one of the important aspects of retirement planning is getting all the correct documents, getting them notarized, and making sure they are in force. That's what this woman did, and it was a slam dunk for her. Jay, this is a discussion that needs to take place, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I got to tell you, she got lucky. She really did. That she had all this in place, right? Estate planning is often something people don't want to deal with, and I get it. It means you're no longer here when all this is going into effect. Try and think about it this way, right? You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for the people that you love, right? You're doing it for your spouse, children, or whoever it is that you want to leave your money to. That's who you're really doing it for. And estate planning often is quite a bit more than just a will. You probably should have powers of attorney. Guess what? A power of attorney doesn't cover everything. You need actually a separate one for a medical power of attorney. What are your last intentions? Do you want to be on life support forever, or do you not want to? It gets a bit more complicated than that. But I implore everybody who should do it and hasn't, just go and do it. You'll actually feel better after you've got it done, knowing everything that's taken care of. And this example that we just discussed, I think, should highlight everything. Do you want to have a say in where your assets go and how they're distributed? Or do you want a third party, the courts, to decide? Because there is a plan for your assets. Whether it's your plan or not is a different story, right?
It's up to you, yeah.
If you don't have the plan set up, the state has the plan set up for you, and that's how it will go. I wonder if this is actually how the guy wanted it to go. Because how old are these documents from the daughter? Were they before he got married? And after he got married, he just never updated anything and didn't think about it? And so now it's going to the daughter when really he wanted some of it to go to his new wife. Anytime there's a major event going on in your life, keep in mind that there should be a triggering event for your estate planning as well. It's simple stuff like this. Even if you've got a will, there's other elements that are going to come into play. For our clients, at least, most of their wealth is in their property and their investment accounts, which are typically retirement accounts, right? And if we get into an estate planning discussion, we'll drill down on this because it could mean that your assets don't go where they like because that doesn't match the beneficiaries we've got on this account here.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
And they'll, well, but I've taken care of it in the will. I was like, doesn't matter. This overrides the will.
Mm-hmm.
So let's make sure we're staying on top of that as well.
Yep. The beneficiaries,
That's
that
right.
trumps everything. Yeah, it's absolutely true. Well, these are important issues, and it's part of the retirement planning conversation. Maybe it's the element that you don't have going right now. You think you got a pretty good handle on Social Security and taxes and healthcare, but then we bring this up and you go, I haven't even talked about that. So this is something we need to talk through. Give Jay and the team a call. Get those resources moving for you. Retire210.com is the website, retire210.com, or 210-985-6200. 210-985-6200.